Okay, so I'm in the bathroom with my mother. She's putting curlers in her hair, so I don't want to get this on videotape. But we just had a whole discussion, and I said, you know what? I'm going to get this on video for the record, okay? And the toilet bowl just happens to be here, so your theory that Mambo was done on the one, this is what we think about it. Okay, we're being relieved. That wasn't very nice. But, okay, so basically, in the Palladium days,
Right.
everybody danced on two.
Yes, first of all, because it was new, and when something's new, you get the original thing the way it actually happened. And the Mambo, most of everybody that came to the Palladium did it on two, because Mambo was the thing, and it was original. Now, naturally, you know, we went to Europe. We were away for 5 years. By that time, I'm saying things become bastardized. A lot of people saw the dance that knew nothing about music. They wanted to learn how to dance, so they didn't know the difference between 1, 2. You know, whatever was easy for them, they just come out on the one and do the accent on the one. And teachers, of course.
But what you were saying to me was that the hardcore dancers all broke on two.
Yes.
And that in the Palladium, it was predominantly Latin people.
Yes.
It was predominantly Latin people, and it was done on two.
Yeah, well, it was mostly Latin dance, yes. I mean, we weren't Italians.
I know, we were Italian. We just loved salsa.
Exactly.
Or mambo.
People who really were dancers,
yeah.
You know. And most of them are Latin, because when they have a Latin band, you get mostly Latin. We happen to love it. We love Latin music.
I'm just bringing this up because people are saying that Mambo is done on one, and I remember every time you would see people dancing and breaking on one, you would say, that's not Mambo.
No, that's not.
Because you didn't even know it as salsa, because nobody even called it salsa back then, because that didn't exist.
Exactly.
You don't know about that, because that's something I know, because now I'm in present day, but, you know, that term was developed. But that's why I'm like, Mambo is not done on one, because I mean, if you're telling me, and you lived it, and you were there in the Palladium, that everybody was breaking on two predominantly, and that's what you remember, then that to me says that people did not dance Mambo on one. At least we're talking about New York style. As far as the history of dancing on one, I'm not really poised to say in that respect, because my background and my specialty is dancing on two, and the ancestry of what we experienced here in New York.
New York,
because
New
the guys
was
asked
the
me
primary place where it really broke
where
out.
it sprung up and it broke out. Yeah. And you know, the other thing too that I see happening a lot too is that people that, you know, the Caribbean is our neighbor.
Yeah.
So we have that access because a lot of people migrate directly from the Caribbean to New York, and that's why the Palladium, you know, everything broke out here, and was a hotbed. I mean, in Europe, they don't have the accessibility that we do here in New York. And the reason, I mean, back about 10 years ago, if you went to anywhere else, nobody was dancing on two. It would be rare to find somebody that was dancing on two or dancing mambo.
We were the first ones to bring the mambo to Europe. Dad and I, they didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
When they saw it, they fell in love with it. We didn't have a routine. We needed another number, and then we developed it, and we put it in our act.
Right.
And the people, nobody was doing mambo then.
So basically, the time that you were in the Palladium and that you experienced the Palladium was the very beginning.
The very beginning.
So the very beginning, like you're saying, is the most authentic time period.
Exactly.
So even if you were traveling from the early 50s to the mid 50s, then you still experienced it at its most authentic moment.
Oh, yes.
Of transfer from Cuba over to
here. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because, you know, I mean, when I asked you what was the Palladium like, I mean, your response was it was just about dance.
Yeah.
And I understand that this guy that's commenting is trying to say, yes, this is just about dance. People they're calling it this and they're calling it that. But when you're an instructor, it's a little bit different because you have to be educated, and if your student asks you a question, you have to be able to explain it.
Yeah.
You know, so my background is that I am a New York salsa dancer. That is my choice. If I wanted to study other forms, I could, and I can dance, and I can follow on one, and I'm able to do that because my education was in the club.
Right.
So I could do that if I wanted to do that. But I really love the On2 Style, and it's something that I've grown up with, so that's obviously why I've taken to it.
But when we're talking money, later on in years, you get a lot of people want to learn, they see the dance, and they know nothing about music, and for a teacher to have to explain, so the teacher does it the easy way.
Right.
It's a matter of making money. Right. You need pupils. You have,
Now, what do you think about what Eddie Torres said about the fact that, you can do mambo on any number? What do you think about that?
I think it's wrong to say that.
I think it's
wrong to say that because it's not.
I understand him saying
that. But
I
think when the word salsa came out, that sort of changed things. Because then it's salsa, okay? When you say mambo, you think two.
But I think the other thing too is that mambo, at the time you were doing it, that was they were specifically playing the rhythm, mambo.
Mambo, yeah.
So you were dancing mambo to mambo music.
Yeah, exactly.
Predominantly. That was what Tito Puente and Tito Rodriguez.
Tito Rodriguez, I danced with him. When we went to work Ben Maxix, I danced with him.
Yeah.
He saw us dancing on the floor, and he came down and he danced with me. I mean, we worked there, as a matter of fact.
What was he like? Was he nice?
Very nice, very nice, very
yeah.
nice. And he did it on two.
Okay, good. Tito Rodriguez, for the record.
I would be surprised if he didn't.
Well, that was the interesting thing, because I always thought of the Palladium as being so diverse, because it always says how all the different cultures came. But you were saying that when you went there, it was predominantly Latin.
Yeah.
And that maybe, the other cultures were drawn later on in the later years of the Palladium, because you said when you went there, you experienced that it was you were the minority there.
And I still felt the same when we came back from Europe, and that was, 1957. And we visited the Palladium a couple of times, and you still had the Latin people there, Killer Joe and all,
Yeah, but Killer Joe was Italian.
But he was a terrific dancer.
And you met Cuban Pete as well.
Yeah.
You met Cuban Pete, but unfortunately you didn't get to dance, because Cuban Pete teaches that he dances on the clave. Specifically.
Yeah, I don't.
So, yeah. But that would have been nice if you told me what that experience was like. But all right, my phone's ringing, but I think that's
okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose that our knowledge is from the Palladium era, on, and I know a lot of the educators of today in salsa, they're, reading into even before that, as far as, the history. I know that I was told very early on when I started dancing that that what we did in America was simplified because people couldn't pick it up.
A lot of people.
Do you think what you did was a simplified version of the mambo? Of the original mambo?
No, we did the original. I mean, we have the music background. A lot of people like to dance. They don't know anything about when you count 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of them don't even know that a waltz is 3, 4 times.
Right, but the reason we knew that is because Dad was a trumpet player and he had musical education. Yes. But so you knew that people were dancing on two, and you could distinguish that.
Yes.
Because you had musical training. But most people that they just danced it, they didn't know they were dancing on two.
Yeah. Exactly. I think they say the music immediately come at
Can you give me a demonstration of the basic mambo step? The counting, like how you counted it out? Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, Mom. Okay, you're in your slippers. Yeah, she's in curlers.
With my numb leg.
Yeah, she has you have lumbar plexitis, right?
Paresthesia.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's read, before, prior to that period or something, and I guess there'll always be some kind of myth about that.
Right.
But it's nice. The thing is you were there before Eddie Torres was there, when it originally sprung. And I know that there were a lot of people that didn't like what Eddie Torres was doing. I think he's a great teacher. As far as I've seen him instruct, and even the way he talks about the dance, and I love that he doesn't shut anybody out. And it's and it's true. He's like, everybody had their own style, you know, like, and
he respects everybody.
Right. You know, it's not about that, but the point is that, you know, Mambo is not dance on one.
No.
It's not, because we're talking about specifically Mambo music and the Mambo dance done to it. So, all right.
Okay.
Okay. Glad we talked about that. All right.